Latinas for Trump. You can still be for Trump. Just do it over there in Mexico. Bigly. Blacks. Blacks. The Latinas want you to come to the party. Finally, you're getting invited to the siesta. Only it's a protest party this time. They want you to get out there with your picket signs against ICE. Why are we against ICE all of a sudden? I thought we liked ICE. There's plenty of ICEs that we do like. We like iced tea, both the drink and the washed up wrapper. We love his wife Coco. She's so beautiful, don't you agree? We like Ice Spice. Okay, the thick one, not the thin one. Apparently the thin one is for the whites and the blacks like her thick. Bigly, they like that. Vanilla ice? No, we don't like that. No vanilla ice, but we like the ice capades. We like dry ice, and the fancy drinks where they put the little stuffies inside. We like that bigly. Bigly, we enjoy it now. When I bring ice, it's a problem. Of course, everything I do is a problem. You guys find a problem with every single thing that I do. Listen, guys, why are we calling for the blacks? The blacks already told you they weren't going to protest with you, and 92% voted for Kamala. I thought that was really crazy because we were already going to rig the election, so why bother? You know what, I think you should be calling on the other white passing minorities, you know who. Yeah, call the Asians, because you both like rice. You just don't like ice. You don't like ice. It's a common ground. Bigly. You're white passing, which is a little delusional, a little misguided, because, unlike the Irish or the Italians, you don't pass for white. We're not confusing you. It's pretty clear you're brown, you're Asian. Denial is a river in Egypt. Bigly. But whatever floats your boat, whatever gets your rocks off. I don't think the blacks are gonna show up for you. Sorry. But we can always blame the blacks. It's always a thing. It's always a default setting to blame the blacks. They're just a good group to blame. And they have talent. They'll come out of it somehow. Super resilient. Very, very strong, those guys. Their backs. The backs of the blacks are super strong. Top notch. You see the movie Get Out? Physical. Hispanics for Trump. Don't lose your mojo. Keep it going. Just because we deported your abuela doesn't mean you can't vote for us next time. Well, how's the song go? I will vote for Donald Trump. I will vote. Let's do it. I will vote for Donald Trump. Don't lose your mojo just because of a little ice raid. Bigly. Perhaps when you're calling for the blacks to come and protest with you, maybe you should say it in English, maybe Ebonics. I don't think they speak the Espanol, but they do love a little fajita coming to the table with the smoke and the sizzle. It's very nice. The presentation is exquisite. Honestly, truly, bigly.
Hey guys, welcome back to Afro Judy. I really appreciate your support. Today we are getting into something that has been stirring the streets and online. The rising tension between some of the Latino protesters and the Black Americans, simply because the Black Americans are choosing not to join the Latinos in their protest. And let's be real, it's getting messy because some of the lines are now being crossed. Let's talk about it. First things first, Black Americans or Latinos, nothing. Let me repeat to those people at the back. Black Americans or Latinos, nothing. Solidarity is earned, not demanded. It doesn't come with guilt tripping. It doesn't come with entitlement. And worst of all, it doesn't come with the racial slurs. That N-word is a no-go. Full stop. So guys, kindly give the video a thumbs up and let's dive in, and also subscribe if you're coming across the channel for the very first time. And I'm your host and presenter, Judy.
All right, this message is for my brown people. And although us black folks decided to sit this one out because we did try to warn y'all at the polls, we do see that it's fucked up. California is a blue state. 66% of Latinos in California voted against Trump, but it's not enough. You got to work on your people that hate us. Then you got to rally your people because they hate you like they hate us. And don't tell me this is not about race. There's over 500,000 undocumented immigrants in America from Poland or Russia or Germany, the UK, Italy, Ireland, all over Eastern Europe. But they not joining the protests because they not being targeted. America has always been obsessed with race. You burglarize and steal someone's home, make laws that only protect you, then get upset when they want to move back in. Talking about, we need to protect our borders. Most of you never even met a Mexican American, and if you have, they're probably doing a job that you would never want to do anyway. These ain't criminals. They're snatching up students and nurses and builders and farmers, electricians and plumbers. They got fucking armored vehicles pulling up on line cooks. You're separating mothers from their children and telling people who've been here for decades to just go and start a life somewhere else because you're uncomfortable. In their land. You just took their shit and was even too lazy to change the names. It's still San Francisco, San Diego, San Bernardino, Ventura, Calabasas, Rancho Cucamonga. But it's all in the name of law, right? Well, hanging people was law. Owning people was law. Segregation was law. Jim Crow, mass incarceration, redlining, stop and frisk. Law, 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 law. Just because it's written don't make it right. You know Adolf had laws too. It's funny how you want people to follow the rules when they only benefit you. So let me get this straight. A man who was found guilty of committing 34 felonies is turning our troops against people who committed a civil violation. Being undocumented is a civil violation, not a felony. So who you put in office is far worse than any of these folks out here just trying to build a life in America. But y'all let him slide because he's white. I'm here in LA and not a single person died during these protests. 5 people died when they stormed the Capitol and those thugs were pardoned. Can you imagine if black and brown people stormed the Capitol? We wouldn't make it onto the fucking lawn before we got slaughtered. You naggers are all savages. You're tearing up property. Are you telling me that an insured Apple store or Louis Vuitton store is more important than the historic Capitol building of the United States? At least when black and brown people riot, it's for survival or civil rights. White America will burn a whole city down because their team won the World Series. So to all my brown brothers and sisters, coming from a people who's been fighting on the front lines for over 400 years, sacrificing our bodies so that Muslims and Asians and Africans and Indians and brown people can live a comfortable life in America, please realize that we are tired. A bit of advice. There is not a word that you can say to make those racists feel compassion because they do not view you as their equal. So keep protesting and going as hard as you can. And to the colonizers who agree with Mr. Trump, let me ask you a question. If all of your land is stolen and someone told you to go home, where would you go?
Black Americans do have the right to say that we're minding our own business. Black Americans have done enough. Okay? Black Americans don't have to be the voice for every single group and every other person. And Black Americans are allowed to be tired, to be like, you know what, y'all figure it out. We told y'all what to do. You didn't want to listen, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And another thing, when it comes to other people using the N-word, this is why I say that there is no black and brown. I'm just going to be honest. There is no such thing as black and brown as a collective because you have people like this. And I don't understand why a lot of them feel so comfortable using this word. We are not the same people. We are not the same people. And that's a black man, whether you like what he's doing, which is his job, whether you like that he's doing his job, and he's doing his job, and you're saying, oh, I'll spit in your food and I'll do this to you and blah, and then you using the N-word, bro. This what I be talking about. So like, nah, bro. Ain't no such thing as a collective. Ain't no such thing as black and brown. And honestly, we know how a lot of people feel about us as black folks anyway. So, again, if we say we're opting out and we don't want to speak on what's going on, we don't have to. Because one thing I know is when something happens to black folks, where y'all gonna be? Are y'all gonna lift y'all voices up? No, you're not. As a collective, no, you're not. You're not. because historically, you never did.
You're one of the folks that is planning to or already made a video telling black Americans why aren't they supporting at the protest right now. Stop it. Do better. Black Americans don't know anybody nothing. Some folks are pushing this narrative because they showed up during the BLM movement and now black Americans need to step up for us. That's not how it works. We didn't show up to support for the sake of them getting us back in the future. We support causes like that because it's the right thing to do. Because humanity comes first. ¿Me entiendes? I even saw some folks leave comments like, you know, Africans ran to Mexico to escape slavery in the US. What are you saying? The folks in Mexico that embraced the protected, those that were seeking safety, did it because it was the right thing to do. For you to act like people owe us something is crazy. Let me add a few more things. There are hella black Americans supporting the protests right now. The right side of history. And they're doing it because it's the right thing to do. Because humanity comes first. And also, just like the Latino community, they are not a monolith. Just like we have our colonizer pets, supported trompas, that are celebrating deportations, there are folks like that in every community as well. But they do not represent the entire community. But honestly, instead of pushing your energy asking people, why are they not here? Why are they not supporting us? Put that energy towards your conservative tío, tu primo cara de pato that voted for this, and hella energy in pushing politicians. Call them, email them, call them out on social media to advocate to do the right thing for humanity, to be on the right side of history. This is a big topic. I could talk so much more about this, but I'm gonna stop right here. Familia, what did I miss? And if you agree with what I said, don't forget to follow, send this to someone that needs to hear it, and support me on YT if you don't already. Adios.
So you telling me that all those years of watching black people be treated like crap and watching us protest and march and protest and march and yell and scream and protest and march, and while they may not have been shipping our people out of the country, they damn sure were shipping them into prison, modern day enslavement. Okay, so after watching all of that and us finally saying, we're not going out there, these Hispanics and Latinas and Mexicans and all whoever were all there from, they got out there and they protested and they marched, knowing that it would get no results. But it does serve for entertainment purposes and educational. Let us watch people and let us see that it does not get results, because they weren't watching clearly.
So amidst like all like that video going around of like the two like Mexican people using like the N-word to that cop about the kava and all that shit, if you haven't seen it, it's on Twitter and shit, but it's like, I have never seen a black person ever use like a slur for like Mexican people. I've never heard them use the setback slur. I've never heard anybody say the one that starts with the B. I've never heard a black person say any of those slurs ever before. And like, I'll make a different video about how I feel about the N-word because I'm not trying to get myself into trouble today. Not today. But the thing is, I can understand that some people grew up thinking it was okay to say that in certain contexts and da-da-da-da. But what gets me is like when like Latino people, like they try to use it as a word, to like, use that word to make themselves seem tough, make themselves seem unapproachable, try to like flex and shit. That's where it becomes not okay. Because you're trying to equate being tough and being scary and being unfuckable with to being black. And like, that's not cool. And like, additionally, I had a coworker and like we're great friends now. We're chilling, like we chilling. But like he had dropped the word, like he was Latino like at one time, and like I didn't talk to him for maybe like 2 months because I was just disgusted. Not because he used the word, but it's like I don't use that word around my grandmother. And she's black, I'm black because of her experience. I know it can be offensive to her. I don't use that word around her. And in certain groups of black people who I'm around with them, I'm not gonna drop that word just out of respect. I went to like a predominantly white middle school / elementary school. I didn't use that word just because respect for the space. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, I'm not trying to bring no extra attention to myself. It's unnecessary. I don't need to be using it. Da-da-da-da. So if there's no conversation, like if you approach me and it's like, oh, well, how do you feel about me using this word? Da-da-da-da. I'm not going to stop nobody from saying whatever they feel like they need to say. But if you're going to just bypass that conversation and just assume that I'm going to be okay with you saying that, that's where it's fucked up for me, because you wouldn't do that to the black security next door who has a little bit of age on me. You know what I mean? You know what I'm trying to say? It comes with the conversation. I feel like a lot of the times Latino people, it's like they just feel entitled to use that shit. And there's been spaces where I'm not even entitled to use that shit. And I'm fully black. And like on Twitter, like they say it's like, but Mexican people couldn't even stop using like the N word for like a day. Like black people out there putting their lives on the lines, like alongside them in solidarity in the protests and shit. They can't stop using it, and that's the truth. That's sad. It really is sad because once again, you don't see black people using slurs for Mexican people. You don't see it happen. Like I've seen black people say "sa," and that's it. It's a shame. It's a shame, and it's like they're doing it to like come off as tough and be strong, and it's just it's not making it worse for their group of people. They're making it worse for black people by using it like that, and that within that context. It's just a shame. And I understand it is not all Mexican people. It is not all black people. It's never all of one, like the group in question. It's never everybody. There's always exceptions. There's always a group of people within the population who's going to stand out from the norm. I acknowledge that. It's not everybody. I don't even harbor no hard feelings towards nobody. I think it's just very silly.
Welcome back, guys. The black folks have been fighting for the civil rights, for justice, and for survival for centuries, long before any modern coalition talk. And any community that came later have benefited either directly or indirectly from the blood, from the sweat, and even from the movement that the black folks built. So guys, let's talk about the reason as to why some of the black folks are refusing to join the Latinos in the protest and they're sitting this one out. It's not about apathy. It's all about memory, it's all about history, and it's all about reciprocity. Because honestly speaking, the black folks have marched, they have protested, they have chanted, they have stood in solidarity with the immigrant causes, with the DACA issues, with the family separation issues, and when it comes to their causes, for instance, the Black Lives Matter, the room gets quiet at a certain corner. They always go out alone and do it. They always face the police brutality. The lives are always being lost. They are being jailed for no reason. And when it comes to other communities, for instance, the Latinos right now, they are seriously begging the black community to come out and help them in marching and protesting, to stand in solidarity with them, that this is the right time, that they need the black people so much. And it reached a point that when these Latinos were protesting, some of them started using racial slurs, for instance, the N-word, claiming that they are also black Latinos and they are allowed to use that N-word. Who said that? Actually, who said that? Because if you are using that N-word and you still expect the black people to come out and help you in the protest, what do you really expect? What do you expect? Like, you are trying to bring me down, and at one point you are trying to ask me that, Judy, I need your help. Which part of the world do people do that? Solidarity isn't a transaction, it's a two-way street. For instance, when black folks ask questions like, where were you when we were being unalived in the street? Where were you when our votes were being suppressed? Where were you when our schools were being defunded? Then they don't get real answers. That's where the distance comes in. That's where they stand their ground, that we are not going to the street to help you march because you can't give real answers to the real questions that we ask you. You don't get to beg for allyship with one breath, then spit slurs with the next one. The Latinos who are chanting the racial slurs while protesting, the N-words while protesting, that's not just disrespect. It's racism. It's anti-blackness. And you know very well the anti-blackness that is in the Latino community. They even hate the Afro-Latinos. What do you think they will do to the black community? I really understand the reason as to why the black Americans are sitting this one out, because even they have not gone out to protest with them and the Latinos have already started chanting those racial slurs. What if my cousins decides that now we are going out to help you in protesting? How many racial slurs or how many N-words will the Latinos chant? Ask yourself that question, because when I watched that video of that man and that lady chanting the N-word severally, it really got me and I felt it so deep. And if your movement cannot survive without insulting another community, it's no longer a movement, it's a tantrum. If you are a Latino and you believe in justice, this is the time that you should check on your community. This is the time that you should reject that anti-blackness in your community. That means realizing proximity to oppression does not make you entitled to someone else's support. You should come together and think what you should be doing next. You shouldn't be waiting for other group. What if they were not there? Or rather, you should be calling other group out as well, other ethnic groups out as well, not black people all the time. And you know what, guys? The black folks, they have the right to decide whether to join the Latinos in the protest or not. Because right now, their lives are in danger. They are at a higher risk. If they go out there, my cousins are not bulletproofs. My cousins are not your shields. Because I've watched several videos of black folks getting unalived by the police in a broad daylight. The black folks being jailed. Black folks being allegedly accused of doing something which they didn't do. So what if they get out right now and all this happens to them? I know other communities will be chanting like, you are claiming that you are resting. Why did you get out? See what has happened to you. Why didn't you continue resting? This is exactly what other communities will say. So when black folks decide to rest for the next 4 years, it's their own decision. They know the reason as to why they are resting. So if you're a Black American watching this video, are you still planning to join the Latinos in their protest, or you are still standing your ground that you are resting for the next 4 years? And if you're a Latino or any other minority group watching this video, what's your plan with the protest that is ongoing? And tomorrow is his birthday, right? There is a protest that has been organized, and some states like Florida, the kind of video I watched, I felt it so deep, because if you start protesting tomorrow in Florida, whatever that man said, I really felt it. I really felt goosebumps all over my body. Just be careful tomorrow. So guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. Until next time, guys, I'm your host and presenter, Judy. Let's meet on my next episode. Bye.